Alright, hey, what's up? I'm JP, an SEO specialist and web developer here in San Francisco. I enjoy researching sales processes, buyer psychology, and turning online roadblocks into revenue. This is the Digital Growth Sage channel, where I break down and air out the tough stuff that's actually stopping your brand from scaling online. Not a lot of fluff, just actionable steps that will get you moving faster, so let's get into it. Before we jump in, we're going from zero online presence or a banned account from social media to owning a simple website funnel that you control. By the end, you'll have one Hello World page and your first blog post live. Super basic structure to get your feet under you online as fast as possible. So, let's dive in. We're starting off with the dashboard page. This is the first page that you will be introduced to once you enter or log in to your WordPress environment. The first thing we want to do is dial in the settings because we want to create and make the picnic before we invite the guests. Because this website doesn't have a domain yet, we are going to keep this title the same. Here we would enter our tagline or our slogan for the website. We would choose a site icon, that way the website has an icon for when Google or other search engines look for it. The WordPress address and site URL are going to be automatically configured based on the domain integration. The administration email address is where all of the forms, inquiries are forwarded, and then the rest of this information is pretty straightforward, and we'll leave it as is, unless you want to make any changes to the date or time formatting or which day of the week starts. So after saving these changes, we're going to go down through the rest of these settings and just make sure that everything is dialed in. Under the writing tab, we don't have anything that we need to change. Under the reading tab, if we want our website found on search engines, we'll need to make sure that this radio box is unclicked and then to save it. Next is the discussion. Now, by default, we don't want anyone to be allowed to submit comments on new posts, so we're going to deselect this radio button and save. And then we're going to go into media, and we're also going to deselect the organize my uploads into months. That way there isn't multiple media folders for the media that you have to share in different parts of the website. So from here, we're going to go into permalinks, and we're going to make sure that the permalink structure is structured for post name, meaning the way that you title that page is the same way that the URL is going to be automatically added. This is the correct configuration here. We're going to roll into privacy. Now, if you don't know how to write a privacy policy, you can go ahead and use the privacy page that is generated by WordPress. However, you will need to make some basic configurations after so that it is personalized for your brand. So we're going to go ahead and use this page, and the privacy policy page has already been successfully updated. Easy. Next thing is the Lightspeed cache, and for now, just keep things simple. We're not going to touch it. Alright, cool. So the next thing we need to do is install the drag and drop editor that we're going to use on top of WordPress, which is called Elementor. We're going to go into the tab for plugins, and then we're going to search under Add Plugin. Now, Elementor has two different plugins that fully validate it once you're using the platform. You can get the Elementor free by just installing this plugin. However, this doesn't come with all of the pro widgets that are involved or all of the templates that Elementor has to offer. Ideally, we would want to get them all set up, but you're going to want both the basic and the pro if you want access to the full suite of elements that we'll be using in this series. We're going to go ahead and connect this website. Since I already have an account with Elementor, this isn't going to really affect my account, but if you're new to Elementor, ideally what you're going to want to do is go to their website, look through their plans, and see which one of these is the most ideal option for you. If you only have one website to build, the Essentials would be perfect for you as it comes with a few templates and most of the pro widgets that people are using to build in 2026. If you need anything bigger or more advanced than that, you have an advanced solo package and a single larger package that you can choose from. Now, there are going to be some questions around where do I host and buy my domain from. So I did make sure to dial this in and pre-frame this for you. If you would like a recommendation for a very secure hosting platform, I would suggest going with WP Engine, where you can get all of the essentials and your email configuration automatically dialed in for just $30 a month. And that would be the best move forward. Ideally, if you're going to get a domain, you're going to want to purchase it on GoDaddy or another that allows you easy management after you purchase. Cool. So moving back through these options over here, we're going to go ahead and complete the Elementor free plugin, but automatically kicks us out to one of the Elementor pages. We're going to head back into WordPress so that we can add the secondary Elementor Pro plugin. So we're just going to click on the WordPress dashboard. The editor has a new home. Got it. Dismiss. Cool. So Elementor is now installed. We're going to go ahead and get the second plugin ready to go. Elementor Pro always comes inside of a download that is in a zip file. What we're going to do is add the plugin in the top left hand corner. We're going to upload our own. And once you download the file, after you get an account for Elementor, you're going to go ahead and upload it here. Now, once that is fully unzipped and activated, we're going to go ahead and log into the system. That way, it knows we have an account and fully verifies what we're doing here. So we're going to connect and activate. Awesome. And now our status is fully live. Cool. So the first thing that we want to do under Elementor is to make sure that our theme builder and our globals are all working perfectly. This is the area where you would design very specific parts of your theme, depending on if you have a blog archive, blog posts for single posts or single pages, footers, headers, 404s. You can go ahead and set all of these pages from this location. There are also some really fun additions to Elementor, like site logo creators, adding global styles, and even some helpers for your theme builder. This is a really simple way to get all of the help that you would need that traditionally would come from a web design agency, but now you have it all within your hands so that you can make adjustments to your content or to have new campaigns running online at the drop of a hat. Cool, so what we're going to do now is go in and publish our first page. To do this, we're going to go to the tab for pages. Now, Elementor automatically adds a page as soon as it is downloaded into the system, so we're going to go ahead and use this page to edit from. To use the editor inside of Elementor, instead of clicking directly on the page title, we're going to click on the button that says Edit with Elementor. Now, just to be fair, if somebody were to click into the Elementor title, or into the page title, they would have the option to reach this area, which is the traditional Gutenberg view for WordPress pages. If you would like to maneuver from the Gutenberg view to the Elementor view, there's a button at the top left-hand corner in blue that you can easily click to get there. Now, Elementor is really fun. The reason that it's so awesome is because it's a drag-and-drop editor, almost similar to the way that Canva works for graphic design. We can now use these elements on the left-hand side to drag and drop containers, new widgets, headings, text boxes, or photos all into a page without needing to do any code. This is extremely helpful for anyone who doesn't have a background in coding but still has a business that they need to manage online. For some easy updates, what you would do is click into the elements that you've added to this page. You can then, on the left-hand side, make as many updates to the copywriting as you would like. So, this is a new page. Ooh, exclamation mark. To change the styling on this, there is a secondary tab for any of the elements that show up on the Elementor Pro build so that you can change any part of the styling from typography, text shadows, text strokes, blend modes, or if you're in an image, you can even change the image resolution, you can update the captions to show or not, or you can add links. If you go to the styles option, from the images, you can mess with the width, increase or decrease the height, you can have hover options, and there's quite a few things here that are available via click instead of the traditional coding mechanism. So this is very helpful for anybody who doesn't have a background in coding languages. Now, if we wanted to change the text color of this typography, we would easily click in, move it to black, and you can see those changes live happening on the screen as you move them, which makes it really easy to visualize the changes you're about to implement or deploy. Cool, so let's go ahead and add an image to this content. We're going to go ahead and select a file from my computer, and I think this image will do. So it takes just about a second to load into your media library, and then from there you can select the image once it's fully loaded. Awesome, so this is a page that we've now built. I'm going to go ahead and publish this page and view it. And this would be our first published page on a new web domain, completely built with WordPress and maybe under 10 minutes. So this is what that process fully looks like. Now let's move into getting a blog published. So going back to the page that we were working on, we're going to exit to WordPress. This brings us back to the Gutenberg view. We're going to exit fully to the WordPress environment. And instead of going and looking through pages, our blog posts are always going to show up inside of this Post tab. So we're going to go ahead and click into Posts. There is already an initial Hello World publication on every single new WordPress instance. So just to kind of flesh this out for everyone to see, I'm going to go ahead and trash the initial post and then build a new one from scratch. So to do that, you just hit the Add Post button at the top left-hand corner, which initiates the publication. You're going to add a title. Let's say this is SFSEO Post 1. We're going to add a body. This is an interesting local SEO. Cool. Once you have these two main pieces filled out, which is a title and the body, technically you're ready to publish. Ideally, you'd want to add in images, links, all sorts of really careful information about data, as well as your writing style, anything else that really plays a part in the way that you want to publish. However, for today's video, this is really just the basics in terms of getting from point A to point B and understanding the flow or the workflow to get these published online. So from here, what you're going to do once you have all of your details and all of your information dialed in on this page, in the top right-hand corner, you're going to go ahead and publish. You can then view it from the website. We're going to go ahead and view post, and then that post is now viewable inside of the darksalmon.lark.com website. This is a staging website that doesn't have a domain connected to it, which is why the domain name looks so temporary. It's because it is. So this would be the easiest way for you to maneuver through WordPress to get started quickly and to get your first post and your first page published within a 30-minute timeline. Now, you can definitely use a lot of the other availabilities inside of Elementor, like the different widgets that they have available, or even using templates to help you build out those pages, and then you can include your specific copywriting and images to make it your own. What this does is it really reduces the workload and the amount of time that you spend trying to figure out web design instead of just building something that works for you online and then customizing it for your unique needs. So this is like the skeleton of a website. Remember that ownership beats rented platforms every time. That's pretty much the setup for foundations on this topic. You can always go deeper on any of this, but what we covered here should get you exactly where you're trying to go. Faster control, quicker redesigns, and real digital growth without the headaches. If this is clicking and you want to level up further, hit subscribe, drop a comment about what challenge this helped you through, or book a discovery call for my team to give you a full audit and possibly help you win on Google. Links in the description. Thanks for watching. That's all I have to report here in the city. I'll talk to you soon.